Did you see the physical detainment of Chad Isaak?
At that point in time, yes.
Were you able to observe his behavior at this time?
I was.
Did you find anything odd based off your training experience?
I did.
And what was that?
I just thought it was odd, given the overwhelming show of force, that he was just very nonchalant and candid about the situation.
Deputy Copeland, you testified that odd behavior and mannerisms would be visible on your body camera video. That's what you just said, right? Okay. Your Honor, I would move to admit Defendant's Exhibit 1038, which is a copy of Deputy Copeland's body camera video.
Any objection?
Yes, Judge, I would object that this is cumulative at this point, that there's no additional probative value.
It's
and
impeachment,
that this is
Your
all
Honor.
the things that he's just testified to.
I didn't catch what you said.
It's impeachment.
Overruled. Exhibit 1038, Defense Exhibit 1038 will be received.
Yeah, that's kind of a bogus move, I think, by prosecutors there. Objecting to the body cam coming in and rely on the testimony when you have a recording of what you're testifying about. Let the jury see it. We want to get to the truth. That's our job. Okay, let's get to the truth. Let's take a look at the body cam right now.
Dale and Julie live across the street from me. He knows them. I think we'll play his dog. They got his dog.
There it is. I mean, I saw a little bit of a smile. It's tough because, you know, he's behind him. But let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter. Join us live tonight from Mandan, North Dakota. Okay, how about the defendant's reaction to the body cam? He was sort of animated today.
This is the most animated we've really seen the defendant inside the courtroom because I thought he was going to stand up at one point inside the courtroom when he was reacting to what the prosecutor was saying, to what the judge was saying, to what the witness was saying. And the jury in this courtroom, Vinny, they are right across the room from defense table. They have an up-close view of what Chad Isaak is doing. They could tell that he was upset, that he wanted the jury to play this video because remember, the testimony of Officer Copeland on this stand was that he had some great body cam video, that it showed the odd behavior of Chad Isaak when he's being swarmed by 20 officers. There's choppers in the air. There's an armored vehicle there to detain him. They arrest him. And the testimony of the officer is that Chad Isaak gave a little smirk when they took him to the ground. This is the second officer of the day who's testified to seeing this smirk. And Chad Isaak disagreed with that. He clearly disagreed with that inside the courtroom. He wanted the attorneys to play the body cam video, so they're hoping to mitigate that description of his behavior on the body cam. And it turns out that you really can't see him smirk on the body cam. But the jury did see him smile, Vinny, when he was booked. The booking photo seemed to kind of corroborate what the officers were saying about his nonchalant, calm attitude when being arrested. He smiles big for his mugshot, his booking photo there after he is arrested. So we shall see what the jury actually thinks about Chad Isaak, but I thought that was an interesting part of the day.
It absolutely was. And the body cam, too. I mean, he's very nonchalant, I think is the best way to describe it. It's like, okay, you got me. You know, from a police perspective, we show body cam footage night after night here on this program. And it's rare that you see someone like that, and that's because when that happens, it's not really news, right? Someone gets arrested, you got me, right? So to me, that's what you want as an officer, so maybe they're not used to that. I'm trying to understand why they thought it was so bizarre for someone to just, you know, you're surrounded by people with guns and you don't try to resist. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Right, and there was one point inside the courtroom where the defendant also, I believe, on cross by his attorney was asking, you know, what would you guys have done if he did do the fight or flight, excuse me, get it out, that the officer expected the defendant to be. And Chad Isaak makes like a little motion with his hands as if he would have gotten shot or something like that inside the courtroom. He's doing this at defense counsel table as well this morning. So again, he was really agitated during the testimony of this officer, disagreeing with how he behaved and how it was coming across in the courtroom, and possibly because the prosecution's case, Vinny, is really getting closer and closer to pinpointing all that evidence to him in the courtroom.
Absolutely. All right, let's bring in our think tank, get a little reaction here. Still with us, KC Early, Carmen Rowe, Molly Palmer. All right, Molly, what three things, and tell me which is, if it's good or bad. Him in the body cam footage being very nonchalant, him in the courtroom being very animated, reacting to everything today, and then him cheesing it up in his mugshot. What's good, what's bad for him?
Look, Vinny, first of all, I think this defense team has done an outstanding job. I have been so impressed by them. And I think they've dealt with all three of those issues incredibly effectively. I'm not going to judge how somebody is going to act when they are arrested by essentially a SWAT team of 20 officers.
But the jury's going to judge them. The jury's going to judge them. That's their job.
Like you and Chanley were just discussing, what did you want him to do? Run away and get shot? You know, it's like you do this one thing, it's bad. You do the other thing, it's bad. I don't think that has him sunk at all in terms of the murders. And then in terms of this booking photo, when they had him, or when they had the person who took the photo on the stand, they were discussing whether or not Mr. Isaak said, oh, you want me to smile in this photo? And so I think the defense covered that as though at some point he was instructed to do that or he asked to do that, and they gave some context. And I think in general, you know, when he's making, you know, gestures and almost jumping up from his seat at defense counsel table, sometimes jurors love that. We've seen trials here on Court TV where somebody's, again, maybe too nonchalant at counsel table. And jurors think, well, if I didn't do these murders, if that was me sitting there, I would just be aggrieved and overcome with emotion. And so now we have a defendant doing exactly that. So even if he was nonchalant upon arrest, right now, all of this animation, I think it's good. And I think the defense has done a really good job in this trial.
All right, Carmen Rowe, I'm going to throw something else at you. Take a listen here because there is some other evidence in this case. Including what's in his refrigerator.
Can you describe what type of evidence was found at the defendant's residence?
There were, like I said, an orange sweatshirt, some dark clothing. There was a pair of gloves that I felt matched what we saw at the scene. There were knives. The shoes that he was wearing while he was walking in RJR through the building, the shoes kind of flopped. I kind of moved off his foot, and we found shoes that we believe were exactly that. So those were all things that were, we didn't find blood, but everything was bathed in bleach, so bleach destroys blood. And so that is one thing that we weren't able to find.
What types of evidence did you personally find within the residence?
I found in the freezer, I found a portion of Ruger handgun that included the handle, the hammer. It's basically half of a gun. That was in a Tupperware container inside of the freezer, the refrigerator freezer, in a bowl that said Chad's veg, VEG, soup. And that was in the freezer towards the back.
All right, Carmen, I'm not vegan, but are guns, do they qualify as part of a vegan diet?
Sometimes, maybe in this state, because I can't believe he's hiding things inside of Tupperware with his lunch details on the top. You know, this guy is out of control. I mean, you know, we talked about on this show that it's like, you know, what do they have? What do they have? Well, now they have the clothes, the bleach, and the truck. And I'm feeling like the needle has moved much, much closer to the prosecution on this case. And yeah, having the gun doused in bleach, torn apart, put in a container to hide it, and a misleading label about veggie soup and putting it in the freezer. I mean, this is not good for him.
Yeah, it's a problem. And, you know, I learned a long time about doing laundry from my mom. And one thing is the bleach only goes with the whites, because if you bleach the orange, it's going to change the color. And you certainly don't bleach the dark clothes. That's a problem, right? So that's bad. I think that's all bad, but we'll continue to cover it. It continues tomorrow.